Good afternoon, I'm Rutra Utsav. I'm again here to talk something much more about Hinduism. My today's topic would be why do Hindus worship idols? The point is that as far as you will reconcile with the Vedas, which every Hindu believed to be the authoritative book for all the Hindus, you will find out that it does not mention anywhere to pray murti, or anywhere there is no mention of murti pujan. It's okay with that. It's a book, but anywhere there is no prohibition also. So if a Hindu worship idol, it's not against their religion, because as far as Vedas are concerned, it has been written there that God is present in the manifest and unmanifest form, because He is the creator, He is the supreme. So it's His ability. If He wants to manifest Himself in any form, He can, because all the forms have been created by Him. It's a simple philosophy which everyone will believe. If you tell me that if God is omnipresent, omnipotent, then why is it so that He is not, He is supreme, He is most powerful, then He would not be able to take a form, a manifest form. It has been written in Gita, यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानि भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानम अधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजामि. It means that every time if there is loss of dharma, people will forget that what's the law of being living with governance of the nature law. Then that supreme being, he is in unmanifest form. But to tell people that what's the right way to follow dharma, he will take a manifest form. Time to time he is taken, and he will take again and again. It's the Gita philosophy. But as far as Veda is concerned, which is much more earlier to Gita, it does not regard such prophecy. It simply tells that God is everywhere. We are a part of God. Let me give you a simple meaning. Then why is it so that Hindu worship idols? The point is that you might be knowing that during the period of Asoka the Great, he himself converted himself to Buddhism, and Buddhism was has a huge imprint in Hinduism also, because most of North Indians were Buddhist at that point of time. It was a philosophy which is atheistic in belief. They don't believe in God. And whenever you argue with a atheist, you can't argue with an atheist boy. You will find out it. He will tell you, if people have went to universe, to other atmosphere, they have telescope which can see in another universe also, then why is it so you haven't found heaven till yet? They will ask you. They will also ask you that if God is so pure, so sublime, and ever compassionate, then why is it so that some people are born as poor and they die as poor? What wrong have they done? For example, they will ask, why are these corrupt politicians earn such huge amount of money? Why is it so? And why is it that their child also take birth in such a rich family and enjoy the laurels of life. He is not bad, but after living in that condition, he becomes bad. It's the situation which molds him to do that thing. Same is same can be told about the poor people who are born poor and are dead and die as poor people. You can't challenge atheist beliefs. It's very hard. Gita tells us what's the relation between us and God. The relation has been translated in three by three people. They have translated it into Sanskrit, and the Sanskrit today is in Devanagari Lipi. Earlier it was in Prakrit Lipi. So it is harder to translate a thing which is in different lipi altogether to a different lipi. It's very hard. So, for example, the three different ways, as you might have seen my earlier uh, pictures, that they tell about Ramanuj, they tell about Sankaracharya, and they tell about Madhvacharya. These three people define the relation between God and ourselves in very different forms, in different ways. All the philosophy which you can derive in the modern religion, they have all the philosophies there. On the one hand, Madhvacharya tell us that God and human being are different. Two is the sign it takes with him, similar to what what your Islam or what your Christianity does. Sankaracharya, it tells us that God and us, they are not different. If God is truth, then why has He to create us? We are in Him, and if we are in Him, then we does have some form, something which is His. That's our inner consciousness, our mind, because of our nature, because of our situation, tells us to follow a different path. But our Atma, which is the purest form, it tells us that don't do this, it's bad. But what we do, sorry sir, I'm stopping this video.